Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, as the title mentions, I want to talk about a mystery that, in my opinion, is something I've never been able to provide an answer to. I'm sure all of you will react differently to this so-called mystery, even if it's not very important and it won't really change the face of the game or whatever is happening right now in World of Warcraft. This is still something that I've always been a mystery for me and something I wanted to share with all of you, and maybe some of you might be able to provide some answers to why Blizzard decided to do these different things. So before I start explaining the mystery, I want to put a little bit of context. I'm sure all of you are very familiar and all of you love all the different icons that Blizzard created in the game. Whether this is for your different spells or whether this is, for instance, for the mounts, also all the different achievements or all the different items that you can use, for instance, all the different consumables and all these different icons. I'm sure most of you are very, very familiar, and sometimes we forget a little bit that these icons play such a big role in World of Warcraft. For instance, on my part, I've always played Warrior, and some of the icons are really things that I would be able to recognize out of thousands. Same with some of the icons of the mounts. For instance, the one for the Zulian Tiger is something that I could really recognize by far, among all the different other mounts. So, as you can imagine, these icons play still a very important role in World of Warcraft. But even if most of the icons, especially today, actually matches the different items they are representing, for instance here, as you can see, or the different spells, that's actual representation of the spell in question. Some of them are very, very odd because they are not matching at all the item or, for instance, the achievement or the mounts they are representing. So this is what I want to present to you today because it has always been a mystery for me, and I'm sure you will find it interesting as well. So let's start with what is, in my opinion, really the weirdest. So when it comes to all the different achievements, I'm sure you are very familiar, for instance, with all the different meta achievements for the dungeons and raids. And as you can see, most of the icons that you will find for these meta achievements are actually reflecting the image of the raid or maybe a boss from the raid. But if you pay close attention to some of them, you will realize that they actually have no link whatsoever to the achievement they represent. So let's start, for instance, with this one, the Glory of the Pandaria Raider. As you can see, this one is, just the summary of all the different achievements you can achieve in Pandaria in the different dungeons. And the icon representing this particular achievement is a helm, a plate helm. So first of all, this is already a little bit odd. They could have choose a lot of different things, but they choose this helm. But what is even more weird is that this helm is from Cataclysm, which was the previous expansion. So they just decided to use this green helm that you can loot from any trash in Cataclysm to really illustrate the glory of the Pandaria Raider. For me, this is really something that never really add up, and I'm still curious to know why Blizzard decided to go with this icon when they could have choose so many different icons from Mist of Pandaria and so many different icons linked to the different dungeons. Same here, for instance, this is a little bit different, but why taking the icon of a random, this is a cloth wrist armor piece, a green one, to illustrate the battle of for Azeroth Dungeon Hero. Again, this is something that is very, very weird, very odd. They did the same here for the Legion Dungeon Hero. and I still really cannot explain why they decided to use random green items as the illustration of these different meta achievements. Here, as you can see, there are other cases that are actually very disturbing. So we also have, again, here for the Pandaria Dungeon Hero, this is the same. This is just a green cloth headpiece from Cataclysm. Again, for me, that doesn't really make any sense, but it is how it is. When you go, for instance, in the different collection and the different achievements for the mounts, I'm sure all of you are very familiar with all these different achievements, and I'm sure that you already have probably a lot of them. When you pay close attention to, again, the illustration on some of these achievements, you can see that for most of them, it's actually the mount you're receiving when completing the achievements. But when you go, for instance, on the achievement for the Montacular achievement, which is rewarded when you obtain 250 mounts, you can see that this is actually the mount you will receive when you obtain 400 mounts, which is the Frenzied Fell Talon. When you are actually achieving the Montacular achievement, you will get not this one, but the Fellfire Hawk, which has its own icon. But again, they just decided to go with another icon that just illustrates a mount that you will only get 4 achievements from them. Again, this is, for me, a very odd decision. Same with the Lord of the Rings. I don't know why they didn't decided to use the icon of the actual mount that you receive. Because again, what is, for me, so curious is that they actually took the time to, create these different illustrations and these different icons, but they decided to use other random illustrations instead. So this is really something I cannot really understand, but I guess there is probably like a logic behind all of that. Another very famous example of the different achievements not representing the different mounts and different rewards you are receiving is this Chromatic Champion. Asmongold talked a lot about this one because this is the achievement that is linked to Deathwing, and basically, you need to like do all these different things in order to get the achievements. But when you look at the actual illustration, this is the icon for one of the store mounts that was released afterward. Again, why deciding to use the icon for a mount that will be sold on the store later on is still for me something that I don't understand, especially as Asmongold pointed out, especially when you're not receiving the mounts when accomplishing, like the raid or the achievement. For me, maybe it was purely for promotion, so people will get, like intrigued and interested in this icon. Other than that, I don't really see the reasoning behind that. You don't have only achievements, of course. You have many different instances of these different icons not matching the actual item. And for instance, here I'm currently in Legion Dalaran, and you can see this is the same with items. For instance, here, if I take this shoulder, as you may probably all know, this is the Warlock Burning Crusade shoulder, I think tier 5, and normally it's supposed to look like that. But when you actually equip it, it looks like the mage set from Warlords of Draenor. Again, why deciding to go with this icon when these shoulders already have their own icon in game? So why deciding to actually use something from a different time that doesn't actually represent the item you will get? For me, this is something that, again, I don't really understand. Probably there is a reason behind all of that, but right now I cannot really explain. But yes, for me, these are all some very odd decisions, and I just wanted to point them out in this video. For instance, even if today they are way better at actually creating some icons for each type of item, and they are really trying to always have a unique icon for all these different unique items. But there are still some very, very odd choices. For instance, let's take this trinket. This is literally just the icon for the different shoulders that you can get from the mall. And these are just some cosmetic shoulders. This is this icon. This actually represents the shoulder. So why is it here as a trinket? This is again something that really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Here again, I'm taking another example. These wrist cloth are actually the icon for some leather cloth from the Pyrite set that you can get from the island expeditions. So you have many, many different examples of these different icons not reflecting at all the achievement or the icon they are representing. And I've always, wondered why Blizzard decided to go with that. Again, they already created all these different icons. They actually spent some time creating the artwork behind all these different icons, but at the end of the day, they just decided to go with other things, which for me is a really, really odd choice. So this is what I wanted to talk with you today. I know that for many of you, it's probably going to sound very silly and you're probably going to think that it was clickbait, even if in my opinion, it's not. It's still a mystery, at least to me, and it's still something I wanted to discuss. But I would be very interested to hear your opinion. Maybe you have some ideas. Maybe Blizzard did it on purpose. What could be this purpose? So if you have any clues of, why Blizzard decided to do this type of really odd choices, just, put it in the comments and maybe I'll find an answer among all these different comments. So that's it, guys, for today's video. I know that probably a lot of you are going to be disappointed thinking that it was actually something very, very big. It's still something that matters to me. But if you didn't find the video enjoyable, I'm sorry about that. I hope you will still come back for other videos, especially I'm doing a lot of content on gold farming and also sometimes on mon farming and other type of things. So stay tuned for more videos, and I will see you all very, very soon for another video. Bye.